We've had engagement with NSC in terms of briefing us on how far they've gone. They have appointed some consultants to drive the process. Again, part of the review we're having in Kama is also to provide an easy route for any company that is mutualized and intends to demutualize to have an easier way to do it. So as of today, that's the only update that we have. Crowdfunding routes, we have restrictions in Kama and also ISA for us to drive crowdfunding. Again, in the process of reviewing Kama and ISA, just like Bola said, those limitations have been addressed. So hopefully by the time the law is passed, it will be very much easier for SEC to come up with rules on crowdfunding. Stratifying the exchange. What I meant is, as of today, our law provides the registration of exchanges, trading platform, capital trade funds, and what we have. And as of today, what we have at the Nigerian Stock Exchange is we have three boards. We have the premium board, we have the main board, and we have the ASEM board. So, and there are requirements for a company to be listed under ASEM, under the main board, and under the premium board. But what we are doing is to also stratify license for an exchange. Okay, what we have today is a unified requirement for company to set up an exchange. You need to have 500 million paid up capital. You need to have a float of X%. You need to have XYZ. Now, the stratification would also lessen the requirement. So if you want to set up an exchange and it's going to be on tier 2, the requirement would be lesser than that on tier 1. And if you are going to set up an exchange on that tier 3, the requirement would also be less. And the kind of companies that would also be listed would also be less than the other one. We think it will probably drive some of these SMEs to be listed. Because over the last 20, 25 years, we haven't seen much progress with in the past, the second-tier securities market, and now that it's been branded to ASEM, we haven't seen much. And there are a few companies that want to come in and set up a small trading platform, not really a full-fledged exchange. And we think we have to give them the necessary environment to do that. So that's what we meant by the stratification. Extending time on incentive for e-dividend. Yes, with the progress we have seen, especially with the amount of the unclaimed dividend that is being paid, I think SEC within its legal resources will find ways and means that the registration of the e-dividend will be extended. But the key thing is people need to try as much as possible to key into it and get registered. So we're certainly going to do that to encourage it. Percentage of financial literacy, I'm sure Mrs. Saini would want to explain that, but it's difficult for her to say this is what everybody is going to commit. What we agreed yesterday is that the committee will come up with a budget. The budget is yet to be made, so I'm sure there's no way she will say this is what each operator is going to commit. It is when the budget has been prepared, they will send it to us, and we endorse it, and it will be sent to all the operators. So she certainly can, unless you can't say anything. Yes. Okay.
Because we shouldn't, we really should put our money. The target is we should try. But we need to kind of be
okay. So that's good. Okay. Master plan, budget and planning. We've engaged the Ministry of Budget and Planning to mainstream the capital market plan. And we also participated in one of the engagements. But very important information, and a major game changer. The Honorable Minister of Finance has agreed to become a member of CAMIC. Very, very important. CAMIC is the Capital Market Implementation Council, being chaired by Mr. Tola Mobolori, which is the high level. It has never happened in the history of the capital market. It has never happened.
The CEO of the Securities and Exchange Commission, where we generally refer to him as the Director General of the SEC. And of course, he was given updates on the outcome of the meeting, the two-day meeting which held this week. Full dematerialization in the Nigerian capital market was one of the key things that was discussed, and we hope to bring a guest next week on the program to discuss that at full length on the program. And that's the show for this week. I'm Temple Ashaji. If you've got some comments to share, let's continue the discussion on Twitter at Channels TV and at CTV Temple. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.